Welcome to Stormy Willow, where we explore the paranormal, celebrate the odd, and never trust the living. I'm your host, Adele.
And I'm your host, Sarah.
And welcome to the show. Our season of 50 States of Strange. So we hope you're enjoying all the episodes so far. If you live in those states or have had weird encounters, please let us know how we're doing, if we've covered all the hot spots and things of activity to note. So yeah, we're already through Delaware, and today we're covering Florida, a state that needs no further introduction, I suppose.
I'm real interested because I feel like the people of Florida are so fun. Um, can't wait to hear about the paranormal. I don't know if I'm too sober for this. Do I
I
need to
mean,
get
maybe this is their natural habitat, so maybe this will explain the Florida man behavior.
Listen, this is the home of Gerald, the dolphin
The
that we talked about
dolphin.
last week, and I'm ready. Like that's my plan. That's my like goal. I'm
It's
ready.
home. It's home of Gerald the dolphin. It's home of the Golden Girls and home of Tim Collins, our dad.
Woo, yeah. I mean, Florida's got it all, man. It really
It
does.
does.
I can't wait to hear about some fun adventures.
Well, let's get into it. So, welcome to Florida. Need we say more?
Get your wine cooler and let's go.
A place where the headlines sound made up, but sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. So, lock the doors, settle in. We're taking the long way through Florida.
All
All right,
right.
so Florida is often celebrated for its sunshine, beaches, and theme parks, but it also is a land steeped in history that is frequently ghostly.
Oh,
From its 14,000 year inhabitancy by Native Americans to its colonial past under Spanish, British, and Confederate rule, the state's layers of conflict and tragedy have birthed numerous legends. So we're going to kind of start out quirky and work our way up through the scary stuff.
all right.
All right, so first we have Monkey Island. Have you ever heard of Monkey Island?
I've heard of Monkey Island, as a matter of fact.
All right, so this is our first stop. So our first stop is Homosassa along Florida's Gulf Coast, a place where the water is calm, the pace is slow, and there's an island full of monkeys. Not even kidding. So it became Monkey Island in the 1960s when spider monkeys were relocated from a nearby wildlife park due to their problematic behavior.
So they just like let them loose.
Yeah, they just moved them to this island. They kind of exiled them because they kept biting visitors. They would bite
Yeah.
visitors and steal candy.
And it's so sad because they're so cute, but they're monsters.
Yeah, monkeys are pretty problematic, actually.
I think the fact that they're so precious is like they just draw you in. And you're like, I can't help it. I want to hold you, and then all of a sudden you don't have a face.
Yeah, they're pretty vicious little things.
They are.
And a lot of different species of monkeys. I don't know about spider monkeys, which is what this island is full of. A lot of monkeys can't swim, so it is pretty smart to barricade them on an island.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's the case for these. So they were essentially banished to this island for bad behavior, and using the water as a natural barrier. So you might notice that at a lot of zoos, there's like a water barrier, and I think it's because a lot of monkeys can't swim.
Okay. Good to know.
It's not so much that they can't swim, it's that they can't float because of the shapes of their bodies. Poor little things will just sink straight to the bottom. Monkeys, Irishmen, I don't know.
I get it.
We just sink like a sack of potatoes. And today they're monitored by the nearby resort that like feeds them and watches over them. But you can pull up a chair, have a drink, and just watch the monkeys at the surrounding resorts. So while that's not spooky, it's still kind of odd. And then working our way up the creepy totem pole, as we'll say, we have Spook Hill in Lake Wales. So this is where the road does something it shouldn't.
Oh no.
So it really doesn't look like much. It's just this stretch of pavement, a painted line, and there's a cute little ghost sign telling you exactly what to do. So
That's
there's like
so cute.
directions.
I love that.
So all you need to do if you're at Spook Hill, you pull forward to the mark, you put the car in neutral, and you wait.
It tells
And
you this.
yes, and in a few seconds, you start moving backward uphill. It's like little ghosts are just pushing you uphill.
Okay.
So the local lore attributes the phenomenon to the spirit of a Native American chief and a giant alligator who died in battle on the hill.
Like they were battling each other.
I don't know. I don't think any of this is true. This is urban myth. But others say it could also be the ghost of retired pirates playing pranks on you, so who knows?
Like a good time.
But the actual explanation is that it's just an optical illusion. Now, I don't exactly understand how this works, but apparently this location, the way the horizon tilts, it's just enough to trick your eyes into thinking moving downhill looks like it's moving uphill. So it's really just your car rolling downhill, but it appears to roll backwards uphill for some reason at this location. So it's ignited tons of like urban legends and ghost stories. How somebody figured this out, I have no idea. Maybe somebody originally broke down and this is just a weird thing, but now it's like a cute little thing that you can go do.
I love that. I think that's so cute.
Yeah, so this is pretty cute. All right, and then we get into churches and societies, we'll say. We'll kind of cluster these next few. So, right in Dad's stomping grounds, Clearwater has its resident psychic, Tim Collins.
Right.
But it is also the headquarters of the Church of Scientology.
Okay. Well, I was not thinking it would be California.
I think they have like big locations,
Yeah.
like around the U.S. and the world. But but the official headquarters is actually in Clearwater.
Who knew?
Yeah, which is wild. So, in case you didn't know, just a brief history on like what on earth Scientology is. So, it's a belief system centered on a theology of self-improvement and understanding. Though it's governed by totalitarian policies designed to ensure absolute loyalty from its members. So, if you're in Scientology, you are all in. Like, you're never just halfway in. I'm not going to do a deep dive on Scientology because we could do a whole episode just on this topic. But the organization's international spiritual headquarters, known as FLAG, is located in downtown Clearwater, Florida. The founder, L. Ron Hubbard, selected Clearwater in 1975 while living aboard a ship to avoid investigations into evasion and fraud. Not a bad idea.
That's so cool.
He chose the location because of its warm climate, proximity to the international airport, and the presence of the historic Fort Harrison Hotel, which the organization could use as a secure base, essentially. Hubbard's broader vision was to replace the existing governments with a Scientology-run society, so a little bit more sinister. Seized internal documents, including a plan titled Project Normandy, and it revealed just craziness. So it revealed the plan to infiltrate the local government, so essentially planting spies into the state attorney's office, the Chamber of Commerce, and the local newspaper.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's like they wanted to kind of take over Clearwater as much as they could. Like a lot of the town is actually like acquired by the Church of Scientology, so they own a lot of the downtown, I think, and a lot of the buildings. So if you look around close enough, you might notice just some oddities, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But speaking of other communities, so Clearwater in Florida is not only the home of Scientology, it is also the Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp. So in Cassadaga, this is actually like the headquarters for psychics. Like, this is a town full of psychics and mediums.
That's so cool.
So yeah, it's a Seneca Indian word, Cassadaga, which means water beneath the rock. And Cassadaga is a 57-acre unincorporated community in Volusia County, that serves as a historic sanctuary for psychics and mediums.
That sounds very cool.
So this sounds more my speed. Um,
Yeah.
the camp was established around 1875 by George P.
Wow.
Colby, a trance medium from New York who claimed a spirit guide named Seneca instructed him to travel south during a seance in Iowa. That sounds
Whoa.
really fun. Colby eventually arrived at Blue Springs Landing, which he recognized from his spiritual visions, and later deeded 35 acres to the Southern Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp Meeting Association in 1895. So unlike traditional religions, Cassadaga spiritualism has no dogma or creed, following a simple set of 9 principles centered on the concept of continuous life. It is defined by its residents as a science, philosophy, and religion that facilitates communication between the living and the spirit world. All right, so those are some of kind of the odd stops and communities, just getting you warmed up for the weirdness ahead in Florida. There's also the I-4 dead zone. So this is Interstate 4, which cuts
Okay.
through central Florida. So it's between Sanford and Daytona, and it's just one stretch. And it has kind of a haunting reputation, actually.
Oh.
So the I-4 dead zone is a quote-unquote community of the deceased. Four German. So apparently there were 4 German immigrants buried in 1887 after a yellow fever epidemic that allegedly haunts this stretch of the highway. I think it was kind of like built over their burial grounds.
Oh, that tracks.
You know, typical. The legend claims that the area is cursed because the immigrants were buried without last rits, and the graves were later desecrated by construction.
Oh no.
And recent accounts from research partners suggest the legend was actually a revenge hoax created by author Charlie Carlson because the state took his family's land through eminent domain for the highway's construction. So some people
Okay.
say that this was kind of a hoax so people wouldn't really, I guess, want to do anything with the land. Obviously, it didn't
I
work.
mean, fair enough.
And then once you pass through the I-4 dead zone, let's say you want to stop in for a bite at Ashley's restaurant in
Magic.
Rockledge. So this was originally a 1930s speakeasy known as Jack's Tavern. This restaurant is considered one of Florida's most haunted. Reports include flying dishes, frigid cold spots, which is pretty odd since Florida is quite hot and
Yes.
humid, and sightings of figures in 1930s era clothing. Many believe the hauntings are tied to the unsolved 1930s murder of a 19-year-old Ethel Allen, whose
Oh,
body was found on the nearby shores of the Indian River. So I don't
yikes.
know. I don't know. If nothing else, I'm sure you can at least grab a good bite of food. But yeah. Now let's get into some of the iconic hauntings, though.
All
Like I said,
right.
we're going to work our way up in the scare meter. So, of course, I think you know who I'm going to cover.
Oh, I know.
We got Robert the Doll of Key
Robert.
West.
Key West. No, I can vouch. I have been to a Key West ghost tour. That place is haunted. It's creepy. It's very creepy, and we did get to see where Robert lived.
Oh, you got to see his place? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is Florida's Annabelle, if you will. This is Robert the Doll. He's dressed in a little sailor outfit, which looks innocent enough, but it is not. So, this 1904 Steiff doll once belonged to the eccentric artist Robert Eugene Otto, and this doll is infamous for its alleged supernatural awareness. So local legend suggests that the doll's power was first triggered when a young Otto began blaming his childhood mishaps on the doll. Witnesses claim the doll had the ability to move on its own, sound familiar? Change its facial expressions, and emit eerie giggling sounds, which no thank you. Spookier accounts from the Otto household alleged that Robert was seen moving voodoo figurines around the room.
No, Robert.
Nope. And today, museum visitors are warned that failing to show Robert respect can lead to post-visit misfortunes. Well, now I'm serious. People do not joke around about this. These reported misfortunes are diverse and severe, ranging from car accidents and broken bones to job loss and even divorce. So he can really curse you if you don't show him some
Yeah, I
respect.
don't like the dolls, man. No.
And apparently there are actually like tons and tons of letters to this museum that are apologies to Robert after people do mistreat him or don't show him respect
Or they
after
just
they've
like,
experienced.
watch this. Watch, I'm gonna say this doll. Like, don't do it, man.
Yeah.
Don't.
So they keep the letters to Robert that, all of these apologies whenever he's disrespected. So museum access, Robert is permanently on exhibit and is a popular tourist attraction at the East Martello Museum in Key West. Visitors can see him in his glass case, but they are famously warned to ask his permission before taking a photo to avoid post-visit misfortunes. So be
Right.
sure to ask permission. Overnight stays, so while you obviously cannot stay at the museum itself with the doll, his former childhood home at 534 Eaton Street, the site of many of the original hauntings, is currently operated as a guest house, so you can stay there. This allows visitors to stay in the very house where Robert was said to have moved voodoo figurines and terrified the Otto family. So you can absolutely stay there overnight if you so
I got
choose.
to go by there. I didn't get to stay there, but when we were on our tour, we got to drive by there, and it is beautiful.
Oh, I'm sure. And it seems like there's no shortage of haunted houses and places to visit in Florida. Which brings us next to the Riddle House in West Palm Beach. Not that Riddle from Harry Potter. Different Riddles.
What is it with the name? Riddles.
All right, I've never actually heard that name in reality until now. Right, so this house was built in 1905 by hotel construction workers using leftover wood. This Edwardian home has a sordid history, linked to its original function as a cemetery gatekeeper's cottage and a funeral parlor.
Nice.
Charming. It was originally nicknamed the Painted Lady due to its bright colors, but its proximity to Woodlawn Cemetery defined its early legacy. The house was so reputed for its paranormal activity that it was featured in a 2008 episode of Ghost Adventures.
Yes.
To save it from demolition, the structure was dismantled into pieces with the roof, attic, and floor split in two, and moved to Yesteryear Village in 1995, which I've heard of Yesteryear Village as well, and I think it's still just as haunted, the Riddle House. Tours and investigations. So the house is now located within, as I mentioned, Yesteryear Village, a historical park at South Florida Fairgrounds. That sounds fun. The village the village serves as a museum for historic homes and is open to public tours.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah, I think that sounds really cool. And because of its reputation, the house is a site for paranormal investigators. While the sources do not explicitly mention standard public overnight stays, the gatekeeper's cottage is frequently visited by ghost hunters seeking to replicate the experiences seen on the 2008 episode of Ghost Adventures.
We're there.
Which
We're still there.
I think I did see that episode, and there was a lot of activity,
Yeah.
or so it seemed, especially in the attic. Of course, they put Aaron up there alone, and there was some questionable stuff maybe moving on its own. Hard to tell. But yeah, I would love to go visit this whole yesteryear area,
Sounds like
yesteryear
a cool
village.
town.
Yeah, if nothing else, it's just fun to look at those historic and beautiful homes.
I
So
love it. Home.
if you see a ghost, that's just extra.
It's extra. Yep.
And then, speaking of other homes, we also have May Stringer House in Brooksville. So this 14-room Victorian painted lady is anchored by a history of family tragedy, with 4 family members buried directly on the property. That's already a great sign, including the original owner, John May, and his wife, Marina. The house's most active spirit is believed to be Jessie May, Marina's daughter. who died
Oh,
of unknown causes at just 3 years old. Sounds like my personal nightmare.
yeah. Little
Um,
Jesse.
little Jessie May. So, paranormal investigators and guests frequently report unexplained cold spots, moving shadows, and the sound of a crying child.
Oh
During
no.
during ghost tours centered on Jessie May's former bedroom, first-person accounts include visitors feeling the sensation of being touched or hearing faint whispers.
Oh no.
Furthermore, the house's attic is rumored to house a particularly unsettling presence that lingers from the home's time as a medical practice.
There it is. There's always a mortuary or a medical facility, I feel like, with these old homes.
Always, always. Why not? All right, so the Hernando Historical Museum Association actively embraces the home's reputation by offering ghost tours to the public. These tours focus on the history of the family's home, as well as their lives and how they died, with a specific emphasis on Jessie May's former bedroom. In addition to standard tours, the museum hosts paranormal investigations for those who want a more in-depth experience. So visitors during these sessions have reported being touched or hearing whispers there again, particularly in the attic or the child's bedroom. So those are some of the hot spots.
Yeah. Or should we say cool spots?
There we go. It is regarded as a top destination for supernatural lure in Florida,
Yeah.
with activities specifically designed to help ghost hunters catch a glimpse of the residents who were buried directly on the property.
I'm
So
there.
I don't know. Sounds like a must investigate location for those into ghost hunting. And then if you're talking about ghosts in haunted Florida, you have to talk about St. Augustine. But it is equally known for its reputation as one of the most haunted cities in the country. Its paranormal legacy is inextricably linked to a sordid past that began with the slaughter of hundreds of French settlers by the city's founder. So much of the city's haunted lore stems from its early violent history. Matanza Bay. The city's bayfront seawall offers views of the water, named for the Spanish word matanza, meaning killing or slaughter.
Oh,
So that's
lovely.
already great. So it's literally this killing bay.
You're gonna go to the Killing Bay this evening.
You know, look at. Right. Yikes,
Yeah.
that's dark. So this is a direct reference to the mass execution of shipwrecked French survivors of the Matanzas inlet in 1565. So that was a very bloody event. And then there's the blood red legend. So local legends suggest that that under the light of the moon, the water of the bay can appear red as if stained by blood of those early settlers who were murdered there.
Ow.
So,
okay.
yeah, a rather bloody, dark history.
Yeah.
And then you also have the St. Augustine Lighthouse, which, if nothing else, is pretty to look at, but of course, hella haunted. This was completed in 1874. The lighthouse is perhaps the city's most active paranormal hotspot.
Wow. I love
So,
awesome.
yeah, haunted lighthouses I think are pretty fun.
Yes.
So the Pitti girls. The most famous haunting involves the ghost of 3 young girls who drowned in 1873 during the lighthouse's construction. The daughters of the construction superintendent were playing on a heavy rail cart. You shouldn't be playing near construction sites, right? So they were playing on a heavy rail cart that accidentally plummeted into the water, trapping them beneath.
That's horrible.
That's pretty horrendous. So today, visitors report hearing the sounds of children laughing, and a young girl in Victorian dress is frequently spotted on the grounds or appearing in photographs. Yikes.
Wow.
And also, at a nearby playground, first-person accounts describe swaying against the wind, even when the air is perfectly still. So you have some swings that are kind of moving on their own.
That's some like intro to Are You Afraid of the Dark right there. Vibes.
Yeah, seriously. And then you also have the Phantom Keeper, So, another frequent report involves a wandering lighthouse keeper who leaves the faint scent of cigar smoke in his wake. Some
That's
visitors
cool.
even, right? And that makes me think of the clown from Are You Afraid of the Dark? The cigars. So, some visitors even claim the scent follows them back to their home after they leave.
No
So,
way. That's
I don't know about that. Maybe you're being followed.
maybe you're being followed.
We also have the Fiesta Mall skeletons.
What?
Oh,
What is that?
I don't think all those words should go together ever in a sentence. But anyway, a modern day discovery added to the city's eerie reputation in 2017, so not that long ago, when skeletal remains of early colonists were found directly beneath a wine shop in the Fiesta Mall during renovations.
Oh
So, yikes.
no.
And of course, if you're going to Florida, you're gonna have to stop in at the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World.
Do you have to?
So I, oddly enough, have heard so much like lore and so many urban legends about Walt Disney World.
Okay, let's hear it.
So first are the underground tunnels that I hear about at Disney World.
Okay.
So the quote-unquote underground city,
Go.
the utilidor system. All right, so I think this is true, but I don't think it's like sinister. I think it's kind of like, you know how whenever we study a lot of the old sanatoriums, they have underground tunnels as well, and it's more just for ease of transporting things. I think that's the same principle here. So there are underground tunnels, allegedly, at Disney. So beneath the Magic Kingdom lies a 9-acre system of utility corridors known as utilidors.
Okay.
But of course, there's all sorts of rumors and stuff. And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe people do get snatched and kidnapped. I have no idea. But those are some of the rumors that have like surfaced over the years about this whole secret underground, quote unquote, section of Walt Disney World. And then, of course, we have some haunted attractions and resident spirits at the park.
Right.
So first we have George the Ghost at the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. So legend says a welder named George was killed during the ride's construction. And while there is no official record of this death, cast members are notoriously superstitious, believing that if they don't say hello and goodbye to George, he will cause the ride to malfunction. So that's kind of a superstition of theirs to, you know, not have the ride malfunction. I'm sure it malfunctions anyway. But yeah, maybe it's George that caused it. There's also the Tower of Terror bellhop.
No, I haven't that.
Well, did you see a ghostly bellhop?
I think it was a part of the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I'm like, funny that it's a scary ride. So, Platform D of the ride is allegedly haunted by the spirit of a cast member who died on the loading dock. He is blamed for flickering lights and mechanical jams, particularly at the end of the day. All right, and then it gets a little darker.
No.
I think a lot of us have heard about this as well. So, Pirates of the Caribbean, when the ride first opened in 1967, all of the skeletons were actually real human bones.
What?
Yeah, they were real. Produced from UCLA because of the technology. Yeah, this is capitalism for you. So because the technology to create realistic fake skeletons did not exist yet, they used real ones.
Oh.
So while Disney states they have all been replaced and given proper burials, some researchers believe 4 instances of human remains still exist on the ride, including a skull mounted on a headboard in the bed chamber of the Pirates of the Caribbean
Maybe
ride.
don't go on that ride, guys. Maybe just don't.
I don't know. It sounds like there's a lot going on with pirates.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's also scattered ashes. So it is a verified fact that people frequently attempt to scatter the cremated remains of loved ones on rides like the Haunted Mansion.
Why?
I don't know. And there is a specific code and cleanup process for cast members to handle these remains. So it happens that frequently. Like, there's a specific cleanup code that they have for this.
Wait, how many people
Don't do
want
that.
their ashes scattered at Disney?
Like,
Really?
hey, can you guys go on the Intimidator? Spread my ashes at Carowinds? Or put me on Smurf Island? Like, that's so weird to me.
I don't know, man. Okay.
Who does that, though? Like, guys, when I die, just put me at the...
And I'm not throwing shade. Like, I really mean no shadiness by it. But, you know, a lot of folks really love some Disney. Like, it just means a lot to them. So, like, maybe that
those
really
Disney
is,
adults,
like,
yeah.
their happiest place or best. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know.
Guys, when I die, I'm going to the Haunted Mansion. See you there. I don't know. I think
I need to have a special code. I mean, obviously, it resonates with a lot of folks. I mean, that's what they... I don't know.
I wonder what it is.
Maybe we should...
You think it's like code?
Maybe we should have our ashes scattered at Carowinds. That was our best place, me, you, and Mom.
That would be very poetic.
On the balloons. On baby's balloons.
Oh god, the log balloons or whatever.
Oh man. Okay, well, I never really thought of that, but all right. I mean, whatever.
I'll be seeing you guys on the vortex. Like, all right, yeah. So yeah, it really does
on
happen.
The vortex, like you start crying, and I'm like, why is this person really scared? It's like, no, this is just where I remember my loved one.
Did you feel that cold spot on Top Gun? I think that was Sarah. She's finally tall enough to ride forever. All right, and then we also have some debunked myths. So I've heard about this since I can remember. Have you heard of the rumors that Walt Disney had his body frozen, like he's cryogenically frozen?
Yes, I have heard that.
All right. So that is a myth, but it's I think it's a pretty well-known urban legend, at least for millennials. I think we've all somehow heard that Walt Disney had his body cryogenically frozen. He was going to come back at some point once they figure out how to do that. Yeah. So despite the persistent legend that he was cryogenically frozen in a secret chamber, often sat under the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Yes, that's right. I remember that.
Why would he put that there? He was actually cremated in 1966. Also, have you heard of the rumor about Space Mountain and how it decapitated somebody? I feel like there's always stories like that.
Stories about Space Mountain. Yes.
All right, so there's a story that we grew up with of a guest being beheaded after standing up on the ride, but the legend likely stems from a test dummy that was actually decapitated during the ride's initial safety testing. So no person has actually been decapitated on that ride. And to me, this is the most emo, but also a debunked myth, that there was a suicide at the Small World.
Oh, I think I have heard that, actually.
So apparently there's like a gruesome photo online that claims to show someone who hanged themselves in the ride's rafters.
Yes.
In reality, the photo shows an animatronic doll on a zip line, and this became nightmare fuel on the internet of people saying that somebody hanged themselves.
They also tried to do this.
Ride.
They also tried this with the Wizard of Oz.
Yes, I've heard that rumor too, that you could see a munchkin hanging from one of the seats. It's not funny. But yeah, those are all debunked urban legends about this.
Granny's here.
About their park.
Dogs are going crazy, but that's good to know that nobody did that. I heard that, and then I heard it again about whatever it was revised. I'm like, what?
Like, what's up with all these people? So that scary photo, rest assured, it's not a person. It's an animatronic doll. But there are some chilling real life incidents that have occurred. And I do remember this one, the alligator attack in
Yes,
2016.
that was terrible.
A 2-year-old boy was killed by an alligator at the edge of the Seven Seas Lagoon near the Grand Floridian Resort. That was very tragic, and do be careful, there are gators all around Florida
Yeah.
in those
That's
waters.
probably the scariest truth about Florida.
And of course, while small world suicide is not true, there are numerous tragedies at the resorts involving suicides, including several guests or former employees who have leapt to their deaths from the upper floors or balconies.
No.
But of course, we have to loop it all into cryptids if we're talking about Florida. I mean, this was a prehistoric land full of dinosaurs at one point. And of course, you know it's going to have a Bigfoot of its own. But in Florida, it's called the skunk ape.
Yes, I'm familiar with skunk ape.
Yeah, so this is the most famous of Florida's cryptids. The skunk ape, often considered a swamp-dwelling cousin to Bigfoot. Unlike the northern Bigfoot, which is typically found in dense forests, the skunk ape roams Florida's swamps, which contributes to its notorious foul odor. It is generally reported as being smaller than Bigfoot and possessing a distinct reddish-brown coloring. So, sightings date back to European settlers in 1818. So that's a minute. They described a man-sized monkey stalking fishermen and raiding food stores. Also, there's indigenous lore. So while the U.S. National Park Services view the creature as a hoax, the Seminole and Miccosukee tribes have long spoken of secretive, strong creatures named Esti Kepkaki. I don't know. Which translates to the furry tall man or hairy giant.
I love it.
So yeah, so the sightings of this creature do go back a while. But that's not the only cryptid we have there. We also have the Wampus cat. This is a shape-shifting feline. It's rooted in Cherokee folklore. It is one of the state's oldest and most elusive cryptids. So it's described as a 6-legged, panther-like creature with glowing yellow eyes. Legend claims it possesses... What's that?
We talked about this guy.
Yeah, we might have. Legend says it's exceptionally fast, agile, and stealthy, allowing it to move through the forest undetected. One legend tells of a woman named Running Deer, who sought revenge against the spirit of madness and eventually inhabited the body of the Wampus cat.
Oh.
So, must be a wild cat. Other stories suggest the creature is a cursed woman punished for disobedience or witchcraft.
Oh, there it is.
And of course, pop culture, the creature is believed to be able to shapeshift or become invisible and is known for terrifying vocalizations intended to ward off threats. As the Florida sun sets, paradise gives way to a landscape of restless spirits and macabre secrets. From the human remains hidden in Disney's attractions to the restless victims of the I-4 dead zone, Florida's history never truly sleeps. So stay alert, and if you meet Robert the Doll, show him the respect he demands. Because in the Sunshine State, you just might go home with more than a souvenir.
Oh man, Florida.
Thank you for joining us, and if you enjoyed this episode, please follow and leave a review. Helps other listeners like you find the show. Until next time,
Stay safe out there, friends.
stay curious.
And never trust
The living.
Disney. Bye, you guys.